Well, this is Brian, back in the recording studio, budget home studio, and have a little surprise for you. I have been distracted lately cleaning out the garage and just, having a bit of a catch up around the house after leaving maintenance for some time. Deferred maintenance, that's the term I'm looking for. After deferring maintenance for some time, probably more like about 18 years, I'm back having to face the demons that, have just quietly been creating chaos for me. Yeah. So if you leave stuff unattended for a long period of time, things start to go wrong. Anyway, a big surprise for me, coming from the other side of the world, I have received a book from a very nice man in Utah. He's one of my YouTube friends, and it's a collection of his short stories, Autumn Night and Other Tales of the Future. So this is wonderful work by Randall S. Ellis. I just put the book up because it's beautifully presented, and on the back a little bit of a description of what's in this collection of short stories. Autumn Night and Other Tales of the Future is a collection of 22 short stories of a dark future. In these dystopian science fiction and fantasy tales, men and women struggle to preserve a remnant of civilization in a new dark age. These tales tell of the fate of books and those who read them when modern industrial civilization ends. Well, there you are. And actually Randall's done his very best to try and help the reader chart some kind of way forward. Now, I think this is excellent stuff, Randall. Just put the book up again so you can see it and try and hold it still there. And Randall can be contacted for copies of his book at Randall S. Ellis, 245 S 300W, Price, Utah 84501. Now, I highly recommend this collection of short stories because Randall is a thinking man, and he's done his very best to put this work together for the benefit of anyone who wants to read. So there you are, Randall. Thank you very much, and we'll say more about it when I've finished reading them. I've actually read a few of your short stories, and I find it fascinating that you should actually put together a work like this. Yeah, so where are we now? Well, I've just been looking at petrol prices across the world, and I see we pay quite a lot here in New Zealand, around $2.16 or something, up to $2.20 a litre. I see in where Randall is, it's $3.90 US for a gallon. So, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe $8-9 New Zealand. I haven't been looking at the exchange rates. So anyway, this is what's happening to us in post-peak oil. And I see in Australia, General Motors has closed its Holden division, so we're not making Holdens there anymore. And Toyota's pulling out as well. Well, this is to be expected in the post-peak oil world that we live in, because resources are becoming scarce, and the manufacturers of everything are looking for cheaper places to do their business, and so India and China and South America in some places, and the workforce totally changed and reshaped, restructured and devolved, and just all very sad because people are losing their jobs. However, not that this was unexpected. This is totally expected. And that's why reading books like what Randall S. Ellis has written are very important, because they give us an indication of how we should be preparing to live in a very, very different world. Anyway, as you can see out the back here, the back of the wheel of my bicycle, which I ride as much as possible. I haven't been riding it lately because the monster in my garage has been consuming me. But I think I will be getting the better of that. I'll defeat that monster shortly, because as one of my friends says, only way to eat an elephant, I hope we don't eat elephants, but the only way to eat an elephant is a little bit at a time. And so I'm out there trying to put some order into the garage. But as you can see in the house, things don't look too bad. There you are. House looks quite tidy. Main lounge, where I entertain myself and family and my friends when they come here, and do the office and the budget home recording. Yeah, so sorry that we haven't had so many chats, but life does provide distractions from time to time. Some of them unnecessary, and some of them, just have to be dealt with. And as I had spent a long time in local government as an elected person, a lot of my personal life just didn't get attended to, and so now I'm having to do it. And that's actually, has its pluses and minuses. Also, spending a bit of time thinking about really what I want to do next, and have had quite a bit of time off. Just, getting on the bicycle and motorcycle and going places. And New Zealand's an interesting country, still not totally destroyed, but we have a paradise here, but I doubt that we can keep it. Our rivers are actually getting quite badly polluted, and we're not as clean and green as we've been telling everyone. But we're pretty small on the scale of lies, because the bigger countries tell huge lies. I suspect actually that's been happening for some time. Tells you something about human nature, really, doesn't it? We would have to actually reflect on the human condition and what is it that's actually caused most of our problems. Yeah, so that would throw us back onto philosophical and theological issues, because I'm afraid the big questions do involve theological and philosophical subject. You have to actually do some really serious thinking. And we're not in an age where people tend to do that so much. We're actually kind of deeply shallow, as I'm fond of saying. And I think that's true of a lot of Western and Eastern. The world itself, tends to be a bit like that, particularly in popular culture. However, there is a collection of people who do think, and again, going back to Randall, who is definitely a thinker. He's a thinker, and he's an interesting guy. So hopefully he will see this YouTube, and I just want to say again, Randall, it's just wonderful that you thought so highly of me to send me a copy of your book. I'm in the process of putting something together to send to you, so let's hope we get a fair exchange. Yay! I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I've been around the country looking at little projects which I'm about to get involved with. Have been thinking about doing a collection of interviews with small town characters. So that could be, that could be worthwhile. Anyway, I'm just going to call it quits now, have a cup of tea and go back to the tidy up of a garage, the throwing out of unnecessary things, and a careful examination of what can be continually, what can be reused. And I think that's one of the things we have to hang on to as much as we can and use it. So just don't get caught in this spiral of consume, because consumerism is in a way our undoing and has been for some time. I also note those people who have been trying to tell us that there's nothing going on with climate change. Well, doesn't necessarily mean that everything's getting hotter, but I tell you what, we've been having some interesting climate over here in New Zealand, and in particular on the other side of the world. Look at what's happening in Europe, Japan and the US at the moment, and England is getting battered by the worst storms it's had since 17 something. So there you are. Think again if you don't think we're being confronted with climate change. Okay, find the little button to switch this off, and we'll go back to other things and see you again soon.